strictly, I think they're more marketing firms. I had this conversation, that exact conversation back in 2016 with the former president of Arista Records. I worked at his label, whatever. And I asked him back then, because I had clients and they were like, some of them were, I want to get signed by a major, blah, blah. And others were like, this is stupid. Like, just do the indie route. But the indie route, you know, every has its pros and cons. But I asked Hiram, I was like, why do I need you if I'm an artist? If I have my own, if I know how to develop my own fan base and keep them fed, and I interact with them every day, I don't, no one listens to terrestrial radio anymore. I could go on internet radio. I could start an internet radio station and just bring on indie artists and do it that way. And what do I need from a label other than the marketing? But you're not even putting those dollars in there. You want a ready-made artist.
Yep.
And me and him,
they have to like the band.
They have
first
to like
put marketing in them.
Exactly. And so me and him went back and forth for hours over this. And I was like, that day is dead. It's not the 80s, the 90s, or even early 2000s when LimeWire and all these mixtape circuits, you know, took off and offering exclusivity for indie artists. And by the time that they got there, because his whole beef is that they wanted, I can't speak to that genre, but I'm like a lot of artists and hip hop artists, whatever, they'll have, you know, mixtapes or previous catalogs, copyrighted or whatever. And a lot of labels want that back catalog before they sign them and have access to that. And so I had clients that were like cussing out their managers or whatever, because they're like, I'm not giving you my back catalog for a deal, for signing on pennies on the dollar or whatever. Why would I do that if I can, like you said, go to Bandcamp or be on SoundCloud and I can interact with them directly? What are you providing for me other than the access to somebody to become to market it? So I'm not sure labels. I don't think labels are the future in any respect. And like you said, they're not like what they used to be as far as developing talent or doing any of that artist repertoire or
providing a studio.
I don't even need to. I can
voice coach. They don't
exactly
need to do that. Or hooking people up with, or like connecting musicians with the other particular. You don't even need that record company for that anymore. You can just
I could do it over the cloud.
Email or.
Yeah, I can mix a whole record over the cloud. I could be with my artist recording in his room while I'm mixing his record, and before he puts it on IG.
Yeah, they were talking about that on the new Ozzy album that just released. All the different players, they just sent the MP3s, and then the musician put their music down, sent it back, and then they weren't even. I can't remember which particular song, but Zakk Wylde was playing guitar, and he said the drummer and the bass player weren't even in the same room at the time on one of those songs, I think is what he said, because they emailed it off and then he did his thing and they emailed it back and then he did his thing like that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a brave new world. However, speaking to energy though, I would prefer everybody to be in the same place. Like if just for cohesiveness and because it's, as an engineer, it makes it, for me anyway, 10 times easier if I know I had everybody there than trying to piece it together to make it sound like a cohesive unit.
Some of the greatest albums of classic music have been recorded that way. I mean, that's right. Nothing new. Yeah, I mean, you go back to the Beatles, the Eagles, many others. They were all in different rooms, all in the studio at different times, all recording their little bits and pieces. And then there was some engineer magician who is the true guy behind the scenes that put it all together to make something magic.
Now, Al, I think the guy who did Ozzy's album, his name's Andrew Watt. He look him up.
Yeah,
he has done so many huge acts. He did the last Pearl Jam album, or not Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder's solo album.
On XM Sirius, they do those they call them town hall or meetings or something like that, and then they bring everybody who was in the band or whoever wants to come. It was one of those. I was listening to it in the car. I caught part of it, but
sure. But so Jamaal, I don't know. You might be able to speak better to this than I. But so back you were talking 90s. Let's talk about 90s rap. So like No Limit. Is that Master P, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.